I want to show this to you, and I want to show you how we got there and what we're doing, and I want to also demo it to you. But the best way to do this is through an infograph, and this has already been published. This is what it looks like on the other side. This has already been published on LinkedIn today, but we'll be getting this to you, and we'll be showing this to you in a lot more detail. But today, since I've got you captured, I want to spend just a few minutes talking about our infograph. And you've seen these tech slides 1,000 times. If you looked at any technology, this is ours, and it describes what we're doing. So just for a minute here, I want you to look at the screen and look at specifically this infograph. And in your world right now, if you're not using Renegades, because there isn't another platform like ours, there's ones very close, but there's nothing like ours that does what we can do. But when you look at what you're doing, imagine your team on the far left over here, or my right, your left. If you look at that portion, that's you. And you're over here asking questions, trying to get direction, and you're looking for a shared world of your team. Down below, you're picking one of these publicly available commercial platforms that are out there, ChatGPT or Claude. Both great, by the way. Both do different things. In fact, this infograph was built on a combination of 4 things. Number 1, our creative person, Leah, she built the original version of this. Number 2, Anthropic helped us build out our technical things that we needed on it. Number 3, ChatGPT built the actual thing you're seeing, and then we ran through Gemini because ChatGPT would not give us this nice of a graphic, and Gemini took it and took it from like 1.2 or 1.3 megapixels up to whatever it is now, so it looks great on a screen. So just so you know, we use these tools as well internally. In fact, Jason and his team use Claude all the time. We're not opposed to your team coming down here using this, and then of course they have to use these engines in order to get the answer. You all know this big U-shaped thing that you do. What we're advocating for is that's one sandbox. We want you to start using another sandbox, and that's Renegades. And there's many reasons for it. One is we believe we can do strategy and execution much better for a couple reasons. That team is all playing in the same sandbox. Let me explain. When you go to ChatGPT or you go to Claude, great tools again, nothing against them, but that's a one-on-one conversation. You are talking to them, they're answering a question. Sometimes you can share that in a MyGPT, or Claude has a shared workspace, but we have to, if you really think about it, it's quite limited. That's out of the box. Out of the box, everybody who you assign permissions to, you have to assign permissions, when they go to this interface, which we're going to show you next, they are all accessing the same data, the same agents, the same workflows. Everything is shared. Out of the box, we are shared. And so we start making better decisions because every bit of your intelligence is all there. In addition to that, we have integration, and this is so critical. While we don't have every CRM and every ERP solution integrated, we have a few right now. We can quickly integrate just about any ERP or any CRM solution or any other tool you have in your business as long as it has an API. Now, those are technical terms, but I think you're all up to speed on that. You all know what CRM is. You all know what ERP is. So the bottom line is, if you want OpenAI or Claude to get integrated, that's a real heavy lift. Not impossible, but heavy. But once you do it, it's going to be more or less for 1 or 2 people because, again, that's a one-on-one relationship. In this environment, because we own the platform, and this is your platform, when we integrate one thing, whoever you give access to this platform now has that integration. In addition to that, it's a 3D environment. We move from 2D to 3D because everything that happens in here is shared, as I said already. That includes the questions you ask, the memory, what it figured out. In fact, Jason has it programmed in a way where, back to that ding, 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 ding toll road thing, if it's already asked and answered a question and you go ask that same question again, it just gives you the answer right back. Right? This is a few of you people in the room are pretty technical. This is back to the days when we'd cache things on servers, if you remember those days back in the day. And so you're getting the opportunity to share and have this 2D environment. Also, when you do something in here, you don't have to take it out of this, put it into an email, and send it to your team. And also, when you're doing this, and I'm the CFO and you're the CEO, and we're asking the same question, in any of these platforms down here, you could get different answers doing it at the same time in the same room. In this platform, you're going to get the same answer. and it's going to be based on your data, your bias, as David said. This won't be important for everybody, but I believe it should be. You need to be independent in this era that's coming up. Right now, the engines, OpenAI, Anthropic, Opus Engine, Gemini, Grok, these engines are all selling you access at what is the equivalent of like getting gas for 50 cents a gallon. What I'm trying to say to you is AI is very cheap right now, and they're all on a race to try to capture you inside of their platform. As I said earlier, no problem. Use them for what they're good for. We do every single day. But when it comes to building your processes, building all of your future business, do you want to build it on any one of these tools, or do you want to build on something that you own, that you're independent, autonomous, and secure? We happen to build this on Azure, but it can really be built on any platform. In fact, Jason's always telling me, we could just put it on their computers. And I'm like, Jason, let's not go crazy here, okay? Let's at least control this and put this in the cloud someplace. But in theory, we could load this on a laptop and you could use it there. It's not that heavy of a lift. And so this is a secure environment that only you have access to, and you're not dependent on anybody. You can switch whichever engine you want to use at any minute. This is your data. Jason will talk about that. I'm going to have him up here in a second. But you control your data. And that's probably the key word, control. Everything here, when we build this and when we write our agreements with our clients, they have full access. At any point, we're not trying to control code or stop you from, get you locked in. If you want access to this or you want to take this off premise, single mouse click, everything's yours. We're not building something that we're trying to lock you into a long-term contract. We're building something we believe that it's so powerful you'll want to stay on this platform. And then not finally, but one of the last things is it does become predictive. Now, if we do a pilot with you, it will not be predictive in the first 90 days. It just doesn't work that way. It has to build up a lot of the information that's required in order to do that. And I'll show during the demo some of the things that we require in order to get predictive. But as David said, it started predicting things inside the business. We made different decisions in his business based on the AI model's predictions. David is growing like crazy, and he's got a huge tailwind right now. In fact, his biggest tailwind is, and he didn't say it in the video, he's in the data center space. So the very thing we're providing him with is the tailwind that's driving his business. So he's doing very well, but he's not a technology guy. He makes mufflers for a living. Now, they're giant mufflers, the size of the stage, but he makes giant mufflers for data centers. So he's not doing too badly. Don't feel bad for David. Those tailwinds, though, are only as good as your ability to execute. And being predictive, he said it several times, was key to our success inside that organization. So, as I've said earlier, we believe we've built custom AI for the transformation era. And here's where I'm going to wax philosophical for just 1 minute. You've heard this from many other people, so I'm just going to repeat what you've heard already. But we are seeing more transformation than ever. And I can tell you, if you talk to technology people, you talk to Jason, people are really deep in AI, the next 6 to 12 months, it's going to be wild, the changes that you see. It really is. And there's some technology people in the room who probably can tell you what they're seeing. It's a tad bit scary, if I'm being candid. As you go into that, do you want to be on ChatGPT and Claude locked into an environment, or do you want to have your own custom environment? And the reality is we're going to show you our platform. Whether you engage in our platform or you build your own, you will have your own custom AI at some point. And that's not hubris. That's just, I know the future is going to be. It's not easy. It's not hard to see. It's very easy to see the future. You will have custom AI. And at what point are you going to engage in something that's custom to you? But today, I'm not going to focus on any business problems. You'll find the business problems. You'll insert them into this platform or another one, and we'll solve them together. But I want to show you the platform we built to make that possible and what I think is different about ours from the traditional standard platforms that are out there. So we're going to show you the demo. I'm going to harken back to Tolkien. Unfortunately, my good friend Bob Rabbit, he better be remote. He said he's going to be here in person, and he better be remote. He better be listening to this right now and chatting up a storm in Zoom. But he's going to appreciate this. One platform to rule them all. It's a pretty bold statement, but I've been known for doing bold things, and I'm going to say it. We have one platform for business to rule them all. From our platform, as Jason said, we don't care what agent or LLM you want to connect to. Once you connect to this, we'll connect to any of them. And the beautiful thing about this is once you connect your leadership team or beyond to this, as David said, they all get the same access. So for example, if I advance my slide here, you can pick any agent. This is just the ones we have loaded up for this particular client. So OpenClaw, whatever you want. You can then also pick any platform as well, or sorry, LLM, any of the brains that are out there. And I think this is one of the things that my friend Ken gave me when I was first showing this to him. He's like, wait, are you trying to replace OpenAI? I'm like, no. We want to still keep those really sophisticated brains out there on the internet. We want to use them. So we still use Anthropic's Opus. We still use OpenAI's tool, but we just don't use their interface. That's the difference. And so here, you can pick whichever one you want. In fact, Jason's got a couple clients where it uses multiple. It works, say, GPT 5.4 against Opus 4.7 and sees which gets a better answer and then checks each answer against each other. Now, this isn't new. Other AI companies do the same thing. We're just applying to this platform that's specifically designed for your leadership team. So beyond being one platform to rule them all, there is no limitation on how much data you can bring into this. Plans, strategies, whatever you want, we can have an unlimited data. The really only limitation is the platform you choose to run this on, whether it's Azure or AWS, or Jason gets you to do it on your laptop. The only limitation is that platform, and there's really no limitation with Azure. Microsoft's got unlimited space. So you can load up as much data as you want. Jason will also tell you, and Brian, who helps us with our data when we do implementations, that you want to be very careful. The old saying, garbage in, garbage out, less is more. I hate that saying, but it's true in this case. So you want to be smart about the data you bring in, but there's no limitation to how much data you can bring in. In addition to that, it gets your leadership teams thinking. So this has been a controversial option. You don't have to engage it, but we really strongly recommend it. People are beginning to start to use Otter and Fireflies and Microsoft Teams to record meetings. And we think it's brilliant. We record all our meetings at Renegades. And for most of our client meetings, we record them as well if they'll let us. But we really emphasize this. And here's the reason why. If you can get that data, which by the way, our platform will integrate in specifically with Fireflies, but you give us another, if you like Otter better or whatever, we can integrate with that. We bring in the meeting transcripts. You all of a sudden unlock another dimension of intelligence in your business. Think for a second, if you're a leader in your business, how many smart things get said that never get written down or don't get written down in the right way? How many promises or commitments get said that never get done and never get written down and never get followed up on? There's a lot of things that happen in your business that no one ever captures. Our brains do, but our brains and our subconscious are very fickle things. Sometimes they'll give us the answer and sometimes they won't. If you've ever seen my video on me calling Sylvester Stallone Arnold Schwarzenegger, very embarrassing, it's on LinkedIn, but my brain misfired in the middle of the evening one evening, and I call Sylvester Stallone, my childhood hero, the wrong name. The brain is a fickle thing. You won't remember everything from every meeting, but this doesn't forget. Kind of scary for maybe some of your people on your team, but if you own a business or you're a business leader, you absolutely need this. Now imagine beyond just recording it and getting great meeting minutes and transcripts, imagine now that we can go back to that at any point. Oh wait, one thing better. Imagine when you ask it a question, it has this as well. Now take it a step further. We talked about integration of your ERP system. What if I could say inside of your AI, you could see all your great KPIs and then ask questions? Right now, I can go into any one of your CRM solutions or your ERP solutions, or maybe you're still running QuickBooks, which is fine. We run QuickBooks at Renegades. It's a great solution for smaller companies. Whatever you're using, when you go in there, they're starting to add some AI, but you can't really ask it real questions. Over here, you see a KPI, someone's late, deliveries are late, manufacturing's suffering because of part shortage, whatever it might be. Now you can ask AI why, and it can go back and look at all the intelligence it has, including those transcripts and everything else. It's absolutely brilliant. And then whatever workflow process, MCP, agent you want, we can build it in there. We're already starting to put OpenClaw in here. And I was just joking with someone before the meeting started. I can't tell you how many CEOs I'm running into right now who are programming in OpenClaw and spending all their time. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, it's cool, and I'm sure it's fun, but you should be spending your time running your business. Let someone else program that and do it in an environment where you control everything. And then one of the final things I want to highlight is not only do we remember all the chats, and then we use that to build more intelligence, and then we can get predictive, we weight the data. And this is a critical thing you can't get and don't see in other tools. When the CEO says something, and this may not be politically correct, but when the CEO says something, in theory, it should be more important than when a frontline person says it. So in David's company, he's a 10. And when frontline people are by default a 1. Now again, that may offend you because of your idea of people's input. We do believe in everybody's input. We just got to be careful and we got to weight it. So if 11 people say something counter to David, then it will overtake him because of the numeric value of what they said. But if 9 say it, David's opinion still is better, more. Now imagine if you start just dumping data into Claude, you dump a bunch of employee reviews and input. How does it know which opinion to have? What does it know is more important? It does apply a little bit of intelligence, but now you're actually weighting people's opinions and weighting the data. It's incredible. This is our brain. So we use a thing called Neo4j. This is where Jason geeks out and where he builds up all these connections and he's able to set the context for how things happen. And before we ever talk to an LLM, we've got to figure out what to even ask it. And this is where that happens. I love to spend some time. Jason would probably love to geek out with you on this. He can do that later. But this is our brain. But you'll notice in our interface, it's all open. If you don't like or don't want something a certain way, you want to see how we're setting the bias, we don't hide that behind our code. You see all that, and you have access to that. And I talked about this. You can get any company data in there. There isn't one thing that's been thrown at us, much to my chagrin. Jason lets scope creep happen all the time. So if you want to become a customer, this is the right time to do it because I haven't quite gotten control of him yet. And he will just program anything you ask him to do. So anyways, I'm like, Jason, we're gonna call your boat change order, and it's gonna get paid for with every change order. I think that he'll finally do something for me. But all joking aside, we've implemented. I'm surprised at some of the CRMs and ERP systems we connected to. And then I talked about this early on, and I'm going to end the demo portion here on one sandbox. If you take anything away today, and for the people remote and the people who are going to watch this later, I'm sure this will still be a really important point. I really do think the biggest differentiator for us, beyond all the technical capabilities that we have, the fact that we've built it for leadership teams, that it is going to partner with you, it's going to do all these things, is that you are right now living in all these sandboxes. Imagine when I was a kid. I had my own sandbox in my own backyard, and I played in it alone, and I did a few times. But I will tell you, it was a lot better playing in that sandbox when a couple friends would come over, and they'd bring some of their Green Army figures, and we'd set up some forts and some little hills and whatnot, and we'd play Army in the sandbox. It was so much better. And that applies to business as well. Right now, all of you are in your own sandbox. And with our solution, any solution that you can develop, because this is not something unique to us, but it's unique as far as ChatGPT and Claude and all these tools go, but you could build this yourself, and we built it for you, is you can have everybody now in one sandbox. And I show this image because this is something from our platform, which is what's called our chat management. And chat management is just a place where you can see every chat that's ever happened. You can also see Jason programs, pretty cool, how many tokens or how much it costs to run that chat. You can see everything. But why is this important? Not only do we build this back into the database of knowledge, and we use this to learn more about your business and to become more intelligent and more predictive, but here's the really important thing here, is that when I click on that little eyeball, it's probably hard to see from where you're sitting, it expands and shows you the actual chat itself. Not some code, not some log. You're not seeing some summary of it. You're seeing exactly the interaction that other employee or other person in your business had with the platform, and the results, and then how you can interact with it. If you want, you can even share this, and then again, you're getting the same answers. This is power. You're now, not saying it'll always be right. We can't always stop hallucination, but oh my goodness, do we come a whole lot closer with this platform.